You know, in this country, right here, America, there is a lot of prejudice and a lot of discrimination that is going on against people based on what has commonly been defined by Johann Blumenbach. Race, also religion, and creed. This Constitution right here says that people have freedom of religion and also freedom of speech. Matter of fact, it says in the First Amendment of this Constitution, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress and grievance. But you know what happens if you try to petition the government for redress and grievance? You're going to get your arm blowed off like that person up there in the Dakotas did, protesting because the big corporation is moving in on their land, destroying sacred ground and the streams. And, of course, you know, the corporations have the money, and then they go buy a bunch of, or they hire a bunch of people with guns, legalize guns, and they just take your land. Call it eminent domain. But this Islamic phobia that is going on here in America is very disturbing. Because when you have people discriminating against another group because you don't like their religion, and whether we like it, comprehend it, and understand it or not, America, while the country doesn't claim any religion, it's Christian in function and it's Christian in nature. And the Crusades and the Renaissance and the war against all other religions in this world that was put forth by Constantine, by this you will conquer, it hasn't stopped. So news media and government and everybody else dresses up everything as if it's not we don't have any what you will call war on religion. And of course, you know, you have people that go off the beaten path and they give the religion of Christianity a bad name. You have people that's in the Israelite faith that give our faith a bad name. They literally do. They're just a bad name. The internet is replete with it. And then you have people in the Islamic faith that they just simply give people a bad name. But that doesn't mean that everybody across the board is that way. My personal experience with Muslims is that they're very honorable, very respectful. As a matter of fact, I was in the airport in Washington, D.C. yesterday. And I finally just stopped a woman who's obviously is a Muslim. And I wanted to ask her, I understand about the head coverings because I know what the Quran, as a matter of fact, hold on for a second. See if I still have it close by. Looks like it's been moved. Huh. Well, I thought I had it close by. Well, no telling where it is now, but I have a Quran in here somewhere. It's amazing. What good is an office whenever I look for something and I put it in a certain place, I can't find it. Amazing, huh? But anyway, I have a Quran in here, and I read the Quran. I read the Quran as well as I read a bunch of different Bibles. Now, I'm not too much big on commentaries because commentaries try to rule and shape the minds of people from actually what the scriptures say. And I'm a student of it. What you see me live, practice, and do, I get it all from the Holy Bible. Every bit of it. I get it from the Bible. And for me, who is a student, who have actually immersed myself into following the path that Jesus has set before us, as well as the prophets, I simply can't understand how is it that people do some of the things that they do? As far as, people getting ready to celebrate this Christmas thing. I just don't comprehend it. I couldn't comprehend it too much as a child because it just didn't make sense to me. You ever been one of those children that while everybody's doing everything, you're kind of like just sitting back watching and trying to figure out, why are we doing this? And every time I would ask, I would get shut down and, your child, y'all to stay in your place and don't talk to grown people like that. And they would say, well, we're celebrating Jesus' birth. And I said, okay. So I would, as a young child, 12 years old, I would pick up my Bible and I would go to the book of Matthew and I would read about Jesus' birth. And I didn't see Christmas in there. Way back then, I saw that the manger scene was a lie. And I'm like, what are these people doing? They say they're following this book, but the truth is they're not. So anyway, got older. This is where I'm at today. So I stopped a Muslim lady in the airport, and I had a very intelligent conversation with her because I wanted to ask her about, I already knew about the head covering, but I want to ask her about why they wear pants. And of course, when you go to the East, you see some women wearing pants, but the majority of devout Muslims, women, they don't wear pants. They just don't. Or they'll wear, long skirts. And they'll still have the hijab on, but they'll wear long skirts, and you'll see the pant silhouette maybe about that much underneath it, which I'm definitely not opposed to because, they're covered. And then, while I was speaking with her, I saw another lady in a hijab, except she was wearing these very skin-tight things. And I asked her, said, could you please explain that to me? And she explained, this is a woman, no matter, we don't know where she's at in her transition in growth and faith, but it's obviously, we can see that she's very new in it because if she was not new in it, then she would not be looking like it. And of course, I commended her for literally not condemning her for being new because at least one thing, she did have the hijab on. What are you saying all that for, Pastor? Well, I'm saying all that to say this because our country has put fear into the minds of the people that every time they see someone different than them, people wearing hijabs and head coverings and everything else, rather than asking the question, why are these people dressed this way? Why are these people doing what they're doing? There's an automatic condemnation that comes from people, that comes towards people, to these people. It's called racism. It's called discrimination. You can dress up any way you want. Well, I got a very disturbing article right here, and I'm going to include the link down here below for you to actually go see the video if you want to. Charlotte teacher assaulted Muslim kindergarten student. The nation's largest Muslim civil rights group called Wednesday for an investigation into what it said were assaults by a teacher on a Muslim kindergarten student at the Charlotte Mecklenburg Elementary School. The assault at David Cox Road Elementary School in North Carolina stated at the beginning of the school year, according to the Council on American Islamic Relations based in Washington, D.C., the latest occurred on November 16th. The council said, during the first 2 months of the school year, the Muslim student was subjected to relentless bullying and harassment not only by his classmates, but by the teacher. Maha Said, a civil rights lawyer of the organization, wrote to the Charlotte Mecklenburg Board of Education. For an example, the teacher routinely singled out the student from his classmates and made him carry heavy backpack throughout the day, Strayed wrote. The backpack contained large textbooks and headphones, which caused the student to develop significant back pain. The letter said the teacher would also treat Malika harshly and reportedly called him bad Muslim boy on multiple occasions. November 16th, according to the letter, the student or the teacher reportedly approached the student, grabbed him by the neck, and began choking him. Another teacher then separated the two and began consoling the student, who was crying and extremely shaken. The Council of Civil Rights of 1964 and the Equal Protection Clause of the Fourth Amendment both create a legal duty to provide a safe, non-discriminatory learning environment for all students. The organization has requested a comprehensive investigation of the incidents and disciplinary actions against anyone found coupled with misconduct. The group wants the student transferred to a safe kindergarten classroom free from discrimination and retaliation actions or retaliatory actions. All David Cox Road Elementary faculty and staff should receive cultural and religious diversity training, the group requested. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is committed in the safety and well-being of the students, CM spoke. Woman Renee McCoy said CMS takes these allegations seriously and is currently investigating. That's the same thing that normally happens. And you know what this? When you look at the news thing down below, and as well as this article, they fail to identify the actual criminal, the school teacher that assaulted this boy continually. They also failed to identify who were the people that continually kept discriminating. You see, that's the reason why that Pastor Dow advocates homeschooling, because the environment out here in the public venue is a very unhealthy environment to those who seek to walk in a life more disciplined into a higher calling separated to Yah. You call him God, I call him Yah. I.e., for instance, our students. Our children graduate from our own homeschool. And they usually are so smart that they can actually get academic scholarships to any college, any Division 1A college. And because we're very disciplined people. What's disturbing to me is the inequality and the lack of reporting of actually identifying who these people are. Now, I know the reason why they do this, because they do not want to stir up the Muslims in this country. Because, see, the one thing about what they call radical Islam, they're a whole lot different than American Christians. If you offend one of their family members, there's nothing stopping them from putting a bomb and a vest on them and taking off into that same public school and hollering Allah Akbar and blowing the hell out of everybody. That's how they retaliate. So don't think that this is going to go unanswered. You can have all the investigations in the world that you want, America, but I'm going to tell you right now, as dealing with people of faith. These people are people of faith, but they also are people of war. And let them mess this up. And you see what's going to happen. Because like I said, they have a total different ideology, a total different theology, and a total different religion. And they don't care nothing about the Christian religion, but they don't fool around and mess around with you either. They're not intolerable toward your views. But mess around and have a debacle on this one. They're not going to sit up there and hold signs up and protest out in the street. No. When you start seeing the same thing that happens over there in the land of Palestine, where the occupiers came in and took that land from the indigenous people of the land, the Ashkenazi, Sephardic, Zionist Jews, and then started killing and murdering them. The only way they can fight back is with bombs and rocks, and that's what they do. But, man, I tell you, France, riddled with injustices, which you never hear reported. People hollering Allah Akbar, boom, they blow up 60, 70 people. That's how they view this. To them, it's a war. And if you want to go down this path and you want to pick this war, go ahead. Sure, yeah, you outnumber them, but you cannot outlast their poverty. You can't do it. You cannot do it in any way, shape, fashion, or form. History clearly shows that over in Afghanistan, Genghis Khan and all these other people, the Romans, the British, everybody, they left that country. And America's going to do the same thing. Everybody goes and picks on these people. And no matter what amount of technology we have, we simply cannot defeat them. It has never been done in the history of mankind. Because, again, I'm going to say this again. No matter who you are, you cannot outlast their poverty. And these people are not playing around with service to Yah, service to God, or service to Allah. They're not playing. In this country, God is just a pastime thing. Going to church is just like a social meeting. It's not that people's lives are really, truly dedicated to the Most High. So that's the reason why they can't understand when you offend someone who has a calling upon their life, who really, truly loves the creator universe in their mind, and you insult them. You just committed the unpardonable sin, the unpardonable. And I'm telling you, people do not think and function like Americans. I think one thing has always helped me is that I've been outside of the United States of America quite a bit. And I have what I would like to call a world view of things. In other words, I see things through different lenses as opposed to only living in the United States of America, or only living in the United States of America, and as far as I've been away from home is 1 or 2 states. I have a total different point of view, a total different perspective, and I see things a little bit more clear. But what's disturbing is that this teacher has not been identified. They have not plastered her picture up on the news media like they would someone else of another demographics. Now tell me if I'm lying. Just tell I'm reporting the facts. Tell me if I'm lying. But I tell you what, man, this little child doesn't deserve this, but the parents need to wake up. You need to, all of you people out there, I'm still, till today, you get your children out of public school. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old they are. Get them out. Get them out. Well, we don't have to listen to you pass out. It makes no difference to me. Hey, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. But I just reported to you something right here. I think that no matter what race, no matter what religion, that people should honor each other. Regardless if you disagree with them, you should honor them. The law of nature says harm no one. And I don't know what it is inside of man today that thinks that he has the audacity, the right, or the unmitigated gall to believe that he can impose his will upon someone else and perpetuate all types of evils and injustices and think there's never going to be any retaliation or backlash. This is a new generation. This is a new time, and you're dealing with a total different type of people. I hope I've educated you. You have a wonderful day.